one of my favorite lines or mantras or ways of being is to know that we always get lessons or we get results. My amazing teacher, James, has really instilled this in me. And it's so true. No matter what next step we take, we're learning something or we're getting a result. And this episode, I'm going to dive into my lessons learned from this summer because I know my last episode I left you guys with letting you know I was going into this summer a little bit differently. And this episode, for all my work from home moms or dads, you are going to be able to resonate. I'm going to share my full lessons learned and summer debrief, and I could not be more excited for my favorite season that is right around the corner, fall. Bring it on. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Messy Success Podcast. I'm your host, Elizabeth Henson. This podcast is your space, your corner of the world to be messy, creative, and ambitious as you want to be. I'm incredibly passionate about helping people do what they love and make a living doing it. We all know that is a messy process, but the messy imperfection, the messy success is what makes it all so beautiful. I'm here to help you build community around your brand so that marketing is easy. There's no such thing as a self-made millionaire, in my opinion. We're all in this together. We shine the light on others, focus on leadership. And our theme here for 2024 is the 1% adventure, where we're getting 1% better every single day. So what do you say we get started? All right, and this is also incredibly relevant to my theme of the year, which has been 1% better, because summer was not easy. And this isn't going to be like a let me rant and complain about how difficult summer was kind of episode. That doesn't happen here. But how can I take a difficult season of my schedule, of life? I got sick. I mean, all the things. How can I take a difficult season and continue to really focus on this theme of 1% better? And it's very simple. We get through the season, but are we taking notes? Are we taking notes in the learning lessons so that we really can take these lessons with us and continue to improve, whether that's improving our actual circumstances or just improving our mindset and our way of being around the circumstances. And I mean, I had a very specific moment this summer where I was like, is this a situation where I need to change my physical circumstances and, get more childcare, ask for more help, whatever it might be? Or am I just going to stay committed to the decisions that I have made and continue to use the tools that I have to stay in a healthy frequency, a healthy headspace, however you want to view it. I guess you could say I kind of did a combination of the two, but I wanted to make sure that I was super aware of, is this within my control to just change the circumstances to make it better? Or is this an area that I'm just going to continue to work on my way of being around it? And those were constantly being evaluated over the summer. And this summer was very different for a few reasons. My husband's work schedule has not been nearly as flexible. He used to be fairly hybrid, and now he's back to the office. And my family that has helped in the past just was not as available this summer to help. We have a brand new nephew who's adorable, baby Zen. And my mother-in-law is now taking care of Zen. So we had to, not rely so much on family to be my childcare over the summer. And Anthony is bigger. He's 4. So my kids are 10, 8, and 4. And we are really turning a corner of parenthood where Mark and I are able to have so much more independence. And I can work while my kids are home. They understand when I'm in meetings. But that doesn't mean that I enjoy working while my kids are home, because we all know that mom guilt that sits right on our shoulders of like, I should be taking them to the beach. We should be going to a park. We should be doing all these summer things, right? So even in the days that my kids were wonderful and cooperative and understood that mommy had to work, now there's the mom guilt, which I don't typically suffer from a lot of mom guilt, but it's more like I feel responsible for their balance. And it's okay to have lazy days, but it's also vital to their health and their well-being that we also provide activities and stimulation and educational opportunities for them. So that balance, I take very seriously, that is my responsibility. So while lazy days are perfectly fine, I didn't want that to be their normal over the summer. And, I thought I was mentally prepared for this, but I just don't think I really was, seeing that we had significantly less help and support than in the past. And I was kind of determined, like, this is my responsibility. This is my commitment. And we're going to do it, and it's going to be great, and it's going to be fine. And we really were doing okay. And then I got sick. And I have been sick for like a month. Like, I have not had a sinus infection in over a decade. I have not taken antibiotics in 5 years. You guys know I've been really functioning. I've been really focusing on my functional health, and knock on wood, I just really haven't been sick. So I went down and I was sick before our vacation. And then on the vacation, I just kind of had this lingering, nagging sinus and cough, which then after returning from the vacation eventually kind of turned into a sinus infection, which I'm still recovering from, but I'm feeling so much better. So that was the entire last month of summer. Was now I'm doing all these things and not feeling great. So now I'm not exercising, and now I'm not getting out with my friends, and now I'm not doing all the things that really help keep me at that higher vibrational. So now I'm really in a slump, right? So those were kind of my circumstances. But what I did do consistently over the summer was take notes, debrief, talk with my team, and decide what's in our control box that we can do differently. And one of my biggest takeaways was that next summer, a social media manager is a non-negotiable. Now, I've had people helping with social media in the past, whether it's people that are on my team, whether I bring in someone for a special project. But next summer, it is going to be a non-negotiable that someone is quarterbacking me or helping me or doing it for me, because social media was one of those things where I was like, oh, like I'll just kind of do it when I feel like it. And I hardly ever felt like it, because I really wasn't in work mode. I was in summer vacation mode. And I just don't enjoy being on my phone as much as I used to. I mean, the phones, we are the generation that remembers life before the phone. And then the phones came out, and now that's exciting and it's new and it's different. And now it's like, this is a way of life. And I feel very like sucked in and connected at all times. And I really enjoy breaking that tether. But my business needs to be nurtured. And I am really encouraging all my Elevate students to look at their business in this way too, that our business is separate from us. Even if we're a personal brand, our business is still like this living, breathing thing that has to be watered. It has to be fed. It has to be nurtured. We have to make decisions for the business, but it needs to be able to be fed and watered even when we are sick, we are on vacation. We want to stress-proof our business. And one of my students did go down and get sick, and she was like, this absolutely needs to change immediately, because I need an assistant. I need help. Someone that can take care of a few things in the business while I am gone. And this is really important. Even as a personal brand, even as a solopreneur, we need to be able to disconnect. We need to be able to take breaks and know that our business can still grow, right? And it doesn't have to be growing rapidly. We don't have to be doing a big launch or anything like that. But for me, I just noticed that my messages are important. The work that I'm doing in the world is important. I have a responsibility to lean into my life's purpose. And when I'm stepping away for summer break, I still feel deeply responsible to be helping people, to be getting my message out into the world, and having someone on my team dedicated to that social media content strategy over the summer will alleviate all of that. So that was a nice, really crystal clear lesson learned, because social media is kind of one of those things that I just kind of dabble in outsourcing because I love it. I love connecting with people, but I also know my work is so important that it can't just rely on me, right? It has to be bigger than me. And that was a really, really great thing to realize. And I hope that you'll consider that too, that your work is so freaking important. It cannot rely on just your shoulders. It has to grow bigger than you to help as many people as you possibly can. I also learned a lot about my meeting schedule, and this is really fun. I have really learned to gamify my calendar. How can I have just the right amount of work and just the right amount of creative space and whatever it might be. And I really learned this threshold with my kids of having 2 meetings with a break in between was really kind of the max of what I wanted to take on. There was a few days in the summer where I would have 3 or 4 meetings back to back, with no breaks. And I had to line up childcare, or my kids were miserable and interrupting me, and then I was miserable. So I really learned some boundaries that we can put in place and automate in my calendar for next year that will be very easy to do. Very easy to just make sure we don't schedule more than 2 meetings in a day, and have my lovely assistant, Amber, keeping an eye on that and making sure there's a buffer in between so that I can go downstairs and check on the kids or whatever. So that was a really easy one. Okay, cool, Liz. We learned this. We wouldn't have learned it if we didn't experience it. And that is an easy one to put into action moving forward when my kids are home. And then I was thinking about revenue generating activities. So luckily my business is in a very healthy state where I have recurring revenue, but to build anything on top of that, to launch or generate any new revenue, was not really in the cards for the summer. It wasn't on my plan. I knew I had the recurring revenue. I knew we were going to be fine, but I wanted to challenge myself to think more like a CEO. And what are promotions that we can do next year when the kids are off, or, Christmas break, or whenever my kids are taking a break again. And affiliate promotions. What a beautiful time to focus our businesses on affiliate promotions when we are taking a break. So if you take a week vacation, or you're like me and you're home with your kids in the summer, you can literally automate or set it and forget it, some affiliate promotions, and you don't even have to do the fulfillment work, right? All of that is taken care of. If you have good affiliate partners, they're already sending you the messaging, the copy, the images, everything that you could possibly need. And you can have a VA plug and play those affiliate promotions to your email list, your social media, and you don't even have to lift a finger. It's literally passive income at that point. So I made a note of that in my debrief. And then for my kids, we made the choice not to do camps this year. We've done camps in the past. And now I have 3 kids that are at the age where they could be going to camps. And the thought of having to drive one kid, to a half-day camp for a week, but then I've still got the other 2 at home, or the logistics of trying to figure out how to put all 3 kids in camp, I was like, you know what? I'd rather just take them to the beach. I'd rather just take them on the trips that we've been doing, and it'll be fine. And I in hindsight, I'm thinking a few camps next year will be very good for them to be challenged and, able to focus on whatever it is that their interests are. So we're going to revisit the camp conversation next year, which, this is one that we revisit every summer, but I felt a lot of responsibility to be their entertainment, and they're old enough now where they have interests outside of just hanging out with mom. Maybe I'll put on my own camp next year. Who knows? And then to pre-plan my days, to include my mental health stuff, my workouts, and a little bit more batching as far as podcast episodes. We're trying to get back in the swing of YouTube, all the things you guys know as business owners, like, these are our struggles. Where do we put our time and attention? What has the highest return? What's going to help the most people and also feel light and easy for us? A few wins from the summer. So those were all my debrief notes. There's probably some more, but those are the most important ones. Some really awesome wins from the summer. I finally reorganized my office. So my office is the Frog. So it's the room above the garage. So it's pretty big, but this is my domain, my space. And I always wanted to make a really comfortable corner for journaling, for meditation, just quiet time, reading. And it had been on my mind for a while, but it was just such chaos up here that it felt like a big project. And I finally did that this summer and reorganized my entire office, and it feels so good. I mean, that was so happy. My personal highlight of the summer. Just something that I had been putting off. Gracie has her own station in here now, which is wonderful. It's just my happy place, which is what it should have always been. And for a while, it really wasn't. It was this constant reminder of a project that I wanted to do, and messy with planner boxes everywhere, right? So that was a huge win. We gave Gracie's room a makeover. She is 10. So we finally, got rid of all her baby stuff, and now she has this teenager friendly room. And that was a big project that felt really good to tackle over the summer. That was a big win for her. And we have been celebrating my husband getting a promotion at work, which is also a huge win. So lots of good things happening. While it was not my personal favorite season, lot of wins, a lot of beautiful learning lessons. I did get a lot of quality time with my kids. We had some really fun days. Our family vacation was incredible as always, which was kind of funny because we go to Emerald Isle in North Carolina, and the hurricane was coming. I want to say it was Hurricane Brandy. Does that sound right? Tammy? I don't remember the hurricane's name, but so the weather was not great, but it was overcast and windy. We got a lot of rain, but we were still able to go to the beach, and it was actually perfect. I mean, we slowed down a little bit because we had all the wet weather, but we still got down to the beach every single day. And because it wasn't hot, I was able to sit on the beach a lot longer, or be on the beach a lot longer. And because I was a little bit, under the weather, I was able to really withstand the temperature. Because the one day it was hot, I was like, I cannot be out here. I feel like crap. And the wind and the overcast was actually such a gift because we spent more time outside than I think we would have in the heat, even though it was different. We weren't, laying on the beach sunbathing with our towel and our umbrella, but we were taking walks on the beach and putting our feet in the water, and the kids boogie boarded like crazy. It was really, really, really fun. So that vacation in itself was a win. So here's what I'm going to leave you guys with as we transition into fall. And I know there is another quantum leap coming this way for my business. I could not be more excited. I'm jumping out of my skin to be back, you guys. But I want to leave you with this. if you were home with your kids this summer, I know not everyone was, but a lot of you guys are like me. I want you to think about, what does your summer debrief looks like? What takeaways, good or learning, we don't say bad, but maybe you had wins that you want to repeat next year. Maybe there are lessons that you want to implement next year. I want to encourage you to write those down or even make a document. I made a standing document that's going to be learning lessons and debriefs so that it's can just be ongoing for all the different seasons and quarters and all the things, all the events that we need to learn things from. And I want you to write it down. So next summer, when you get into planning mode, you've already made these decisions from a place of this is very fresh versus having to make those decisions when you get there, which I will say is probably what I could have done differently from last summer going into this summer. Is I remember like, oh, I know I wanted to do this and that, and I can't remember what it was. And, I just didn't implement this type of strategy, right? Of let's write down everything that went well and everything that didn't go well for the summer so that next summer we can make the best possible decisions to continue to get 1% better and to continue to operate from our true and highest good so that we can live into our purpose and help more people. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm Elizabeth, and I help people do what they love and make a living doing it. This is my quantum leap year. We are getting 1% better every single day, and I am loving it. My Elevate students are incredible, and I feel so lucky to do the work that I do. So if you need anything from this episode, it will be in the show notes. This is episode 157. So you can go to elizabethhenson.co/E157. Make sure that you book a call with me or say hello, leave us a review, share this with a friend, whatever it might be. I truly appreciate your time and energy being here. I want to hear all about your summer, your debrief, and tune in because our favorite season is coming and we are ready.